election where we can lose all that we've worked so hard to get. The people across this province worked incredibly hard to build this foundation, and you can lose it in one day if you don't go and you don't vote. And you get to vote for the future and to go forward into the 21st century, or you get to vote, as the NDP has asked you to take BC back. I don't know why anyone would want to take BC back. There may be some that want to. I want it to go forward. I think we're at a time when we can build really incredible leadership and opportunities in this province. And the North is one of the places north than it was just 8 years ago.
I mean, the papers down in the Lower Mainland are saying these might be two swing ridings, probably because of the trouble in the forest industry and the rising unemployment rate.
Well, I think there's I think there's way more swing ridings than anyone gives credit for. You know, there is no province-wide election. There is no election where they say, okay, pick the whole province votes. There are only 85 elections. There are 85 individual elections. Bell has laid out, I think, a very aggressive and smart plan for the future in forestry. I can tell you, when you look down just south of you here in Caribou North, and you listen to the NDP forest critic saying we should risk the softwood lumber agreement, it shows how risky the NDP is. If I'd been the leader of his party, I would have told him that he didn't know what he was talking about and removed him from his portfolio, because that actually risks thousands of jobs in forestry. And for him not to understand that is irresponsible. Build a future in forestry. We've changed to the wood first strategy, which is going to have huge dividends, I think, in building the domestic market. We've provided for people to bridge out of forestry with hundreds of millions of dollars of opportunity there. 129 million community development trust, $30 million additional amount to that trust to help people bridge and to help people train for the industry. The industry is going to be new. It's going to be a new forest industry, a forest industry that builds on the bioenergy opportunities that are in front of us, that builds on new products, that builds on the new building. No one in my party is pretending this hasn't been a very difficult time for forest workers. It has been. And there are things that we can take responsibility for, and the things we can't. I can't be honest with people and say to them, I can change the U.S. housing market. President Obama is investing hundreds of billions of dollars, and he hasn't been able to change the housing market. So what we have to do is think about the future, add product development, think about how we use the low carbon economy to drive new bioenergy and bio opportunities. Bioenergy is a huge potential. This will be the bioenergy Saudi Arabia in Prince George as we move. The classic shoddy research that we've seen from the NDP so-called think tank. We actually check out all of our numbers with the health authorities across the province. So there's 5,896 brand new seniors housing units. On top of that, there's 6,000 units that we had to renovate and improve because the NDP let them fall by neglect through the 1990s. Give you an idea, when we were elected, there were seniors that couldn't get into the bathroom of their units because their wheelchairs wouldn't fit. There was not mobility.
BC has led the country in child poverty in the last 5 years. I guess certainly take a look outside, you'll probably see homeless people on the street, even in Prince George. I guess in terms of making that economy work for everyone in the province, including the forest, what's sort of the plan on that front?
Well, first, I think you have to look at the reports. Even Statistics Canada say that some of that LIFO designation doesn't work. So what we have is not just we eliminated income taxes for anyone earning under $16,000. We have actually provided for support for people with MSP premiums. We provided for support for people with pharmacare, like hundreds of thousands, 250,000 in one case, 280,000 in the other case. We provide rent supplement programs. All of those programs aren't included in that so-called LIFO designation, right? So I think it's important for us to recognize the measures. What we've seen is the number of people employed in British Columbia, at least until last year, were at record highs. Now we're obviously going through the same challenging economic times as other jurisdictions are. And I think one of the really important things is we've given people an opportunity to find work that actually helps them build the kind of future that they want. So whether it's, this is not about child poverty, but whether it's a senior who's having difficulty meeting their rents, we doubled the SAFER allowance for the first time. You can't do any of those things without a strong private sector economy. And I think one of the real challenges the opposition seems to have, because they really have no business experience and don't understand how the economy works, is we're investing $14 billion in capital improvements. It's the largest capital improvement project in the history, commitments in the history of the province. That will generate, we think, about 88,000 jobs. And the reason I'm mentioning this, I want you to put that in context of 2.35 million jobs. So if you don't have a strong private sector economy, whether it's energy, whether it's bioenergy, whether it's run-of-the-river projects, whether it's new transportation initiatives, whether it's in mining or forestry, you don't have the kind of support you need. That's why we're so dedicated to keeping our tax base low, to expanding our small business opportunities, and to continue to work with that private sector to expand our economic opportunities in BC.